Hi students and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great start to their week so far. Staying strong, staying healthy, staying productive. In this class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS speaking part 1. How to be fluent and confident to get that band 9. Welcome Pavan, hi Paulo, welcome to our members, Abin. Welcome Saraj, Arda, Manika, Angel. Good to see many students in the class. All right, while we wait for a few more of your fellow students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com, as well as gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of resources, videos, practice exams, apps to improve your communication and your English to get those high band scores. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're a British Council IELTS registration center and certified agents. So you're in good hands with us. General IELTS website looks like this with the green background. Again, click that big red button to join our premium package for all of our great materials. Reza Hadi says, my English has improved a lot since I'm watching your videos. I'm super happy to read that this morning, Reza. That's great news. It's those kinds of feedback that propel us and motivate us to be better. By the way, students, when you log in to your My Student account on our website, you can practice your speaking with other students for free by clicking this big student partner speaking button, and then you will find some users in here looking to audio or video chat right now. We got Jagadish and Alekia here waiting for somebody to chat, so make sure to use that. Just wanted to show you that before we get going today. Good morning, June. Angelo Cristiano, good to see you in the class as well. Nice to see everyone. Okay, students, so again, you can get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And you can send me an email if you have questions, adrian@aehelp.com. We've got a full week of classes for you today from June 30th, or this week I should say, June 30th to July 3rd, starting with today, speaking part 1. And then tomorrow we'll have task 2 writing for members, some reading for everyone, and we'll have more classes on Friday and Saturday. Okay, let's get right into the speaking. So this is a speaking class. I want to do lots of practice with you. So make sure to speak and repeat. Okay. Repeat aloud. So don't just write, but also speak and repeat. Okay. So the IELTS speaking interview takes about 12 minutes. You will be in a private room with an examiner, sitting face to face, wearing face masks still these days. And then the examiner will start the exam with some clerical kind of activity. So once you sit down, the examiner will say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner. I'm going to record this for administrative and clerical purposes. This is candidate number 12345. We are currently conducting the exam in Paris. The time right now is 12 o'clock. Now we shall begin. First, it will ask to see your identification. It's the same ID you used to register for the test. It's the same ID that you took with you to check in for your speaking interview 20 minutes before, and then the examiner will ask you to see it as well. They'll say, "May I see your identification?" And right away, you want to give a nice full sentence answer so that you remind yourself to be confident and fluent. Okay? So full sentence answer right away. That's your first step to being confident and being fluent, is by speaking in full sentences. Okay? Not just saying, "Yeah, sure." Okay? Okay, so don't just say, "Yeah, sure." All right, be a little bit more fluent than that. All right. So Angel says, "Yes, certainly. Here's my ID, which I used to register for this exam 2 weeks ago. Please have a look." All right. Hikmatillo says, "Yes, here's my passport, which I used for registration. Please have a look." That's also good, Hikmatillo. Pavan says, "Yes, certainly. Please wait a few seconds. Here's my passport that I used to register for the test." Good. Janiel says, "Yes, definitely. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please have a look." All right. Arda says, "Yes, definitely. Here's my passport that I used for registration for this exam. Please have a look." Angelo says, "Yes, certainly. Here's my passport that I used to register for the exam." Yeah, so there's lots of different ways to say it. Practice different ways. Be natural. Be accurate. Okay, here's my response. Yes, of course. Here is my passport. Please allow me a moment to flip to the page with my credentials. Okay, here it is. Please have a look. Okay, and be polite. So here's a response. All right, you're sitting there, you're going to take out your passport. Usually we have to kind of flip to the page where we have our picture, our name, our birth date. And then you say, "Yes, of course, here's my passport. Please allow me a moment to flip to the page with my credentials." Okay, here it is. Please have a look. And at this point, they'll say, "Oh, okay. What is your full name?" So they will match your name, of course, with their information and what they see in the passport. They will check to make sure that you're natural. And they're kind of listening, like how easily, how naturally do you answer a question like, "What is your name?" Obviously, someone who is a very good or expert user of the English language, Band 8, Band 9, has no problem expressing who they are, even if they are super nervous. Okay, that's definitely not an idea that an expert user will get wrong, even if they feel nervous. Okay, so what is your full name? You have to be very nice, smooth, confident, and be confident. You are who you are, okay? So when you state your name, that should also boost your confidence. Be like, "Yes, I am Sammy Rocky. Yes, I am Pavan Sidhu." Okay? So Hikmatillo says, "My given name is Hikmatillo. My first name is Rakhmonov. You can just refer to me as Hikmatillo." Okay, Hikmatillo. That's fine. Try to say it politely, Hikmatillo. Otherwise, it's kind of abrupt, okay, to say it that way. Arda says, "My given name is Arda and my surname is Garbuz. Please call me Arda." Okay, that's nice. So that's polite. Sammy says, "My full name is Siva Sankar and my surname is Pulivarthi. Please call me by my nickname Sammy. That's what my friends and family call me and I'm comfortable with it." Okay, very nice, Sammy. Make sure you're nice and fluent when you respond in such a long way. Okay, it's good. It's not off topic, it's a good response. You just need to be fluent with an answer like that. Okay, Pavan says, my full name is Pavandeep Singh. Please call me Pavan for short. Okay, it's my short name. My relatives call me that, so I'm comfortable with this. All right, that works too, Pavan. Good. All right, all of those are great. All right, welcome to our moderator, Carolina. So what is your full name? My first name is Stephen, and my family name is McPherson. Please just call me Steve. All right. Keep it that way. Okay, so again, here we go. Now, when you're practicing for your speaking section leading up to the IELTS exam and you're doing this by yourself or with partners, really emphasize questions as well as answers. So practice both questions and answers. It will really help you to comprehend and to be confident as well. So what is your full name? My first name is Stephen and my family name is McPherson. Please just call me Steve. Okay, Steve. For part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Probably the most popular icebreaker question in the IELTS. Do you work or study? So make sure to practice this. Make sure to answer this very clearly. Okay. This is where you should immediately start thinking about answer, explanation, example. All right. So as soon as you hear the first question where you can give an answer plus an explanation plus an example, you should do that because that will really put you on track to have this kind of fluency for the rest of the speaking section. So as soon as you have an opportunity to answer this combination, of course, when, what is your full name? You're not going to give an explanation example for that really. But as soon as you have a question like, do you work or study? There's a great chance to give a clear explanation and perhaps include an example to build up that fluency right away. Okay? So, do you work or study? Sukhdeep says, at the moment, I am studying. I've just finished my grade 12 and now I'm preparing for my bachelor's degree. I'm in my second year of BSc. Okay, Sukhdeep, that's a little bit confusing because if you've just finished your grade 12, how are you in your second year of bachelor's? It's a little bit awkward. I get it, like it wasn't that long ago, but it's still a bit awkward. Sukhdeep, I would say at the moment I'm studying in my second year of bachelor's. I'm pursuing a degree in computer science because I've always had a love of computers, and hopefully in the near future I'll start working as a software developer. Okay, so some better answer. It's a little bit confusing to say I've just finished my grade 12 and now I'm studying in my second year. Okay, if you give confusing answers, you will lose marks. So be careful. Andromeda says, of course, I'm a college student and in my free time, I work for making money. Andromeda, that's a little bit awkward as well. In your free time, in this case, free time is usually meant for hobbies or relaxing. So in your free time to do some work, I get it, but it's not the best way to express it. So of course, I'm a college student, and when I'm not studying, I work part-time as a cashier at my local grocery store. Just yesterday, I had a 4-hour shift. Okay, that's much better. And there you're using a conditional as well, when I'm not studying for my engineering degree. Okay, So well-rounded answers and clear answers, students. That's always your goal. All right. So again, emphasize, create fluency. I'm both studying to become a registered nurse. I'm currently in my second year. And I'm also working part-time to make ends meet at my local grocery store as a cashier. I just finished a 4-hour shift earlier today. All right. So there you go. That would get you a high band answer because it's got a lot of great language elements. So you're using the progressive form of the verb, studying. Okay, you're using a correlative conjunction, both and. Okay, so both and. I have parallel grammar, so studying, working. Okay, there's even a little bit of an idiom in here, make ends meet. It means to make enough money to pay for my needs like food, rent, car, phone. Okay, so make ends meet means to make enough money to survive and to live. And it even includes a smooth example. I just finished a 4-hour shift earlier today. Okay, so bringing it into the real world. It's not a lot, but it's right on mark. All right, here we go. Repeat after me. Do you work or study? I'm both studying to become a registered nurse. I'm currently in my second year, and I'm also working part-time to make ends meet at my local grocery store as a cashier. I just finished a 4-hour shift earlier today, and now I'm here hoping to do well on my exam. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Again, keep in mind, answer, explain, example. Some students think that you're not being marked in these warm-up questions. You certainly are. The examiner is listening to your entire conversation from the very moment that you start speaking when you're in that room. So every response does matter. And the introductory questions, the icebreaker questions are just a great way to really get comfortable and get fluent. So make sure to use them. Okay. Feeling World says, sir, what do I say if I've finished a grade and not doing any work? Yeah, okay, so fair enough. So that question, I'll answer it. So what if I'm not working or studying? Then I would say, currently, I'm neither working nor studying outside of preparing, because obviously you're going to be doing that for this IELTS exam. In fact, I'm just in my gap year between finishing my bachelor's degree and starting my master's. Fortunately, I've saved enough money to relax and enjoy life for a bit during this time. Okay, there would be an answer that you could give if you're not working or studying, except for the IELTS as well. So try it again. It's got that correlative conjunction. In this correlative conjunction, I'm using neither nor. And certainly you're going to be picking up points when you use that kind of language, because that's called an expert communicator using the English. Okay, so Here we go. Repeat after me. Currently, I'm neither working nor studying outside of preparing for this IELTS exam. In fact, I'm just in my gap year between finishing my bachelor's degree and starting my master's. Fortunately, I've saved enough money to relax and enjoy life for a bit during this time. Sure, why not? Or perhaps you come from a family that's got a bit of money and you're able to do a bit of traveling and so on. All right. Now, careful not to go off topic and start talking about your worldly adventures. Okay. They're not asking you about that, and they will interrupt you if you start to talk about how you're planning to go to Hawaii or Goa and do some surfing and partying. So they're going to cut you off and be like, okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not what we're doing here. All right. Okay. So next question, probably the second most common, or maybe just as common. It's very, very popular for these warm-ups. What do you like to do in your free time? So this question, you can hear it many different ways. What do you do in your spare time? When you're not working or studying, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? These are all kind of the same question. What do you like to do in your free time? Arda says, when I have some free time, I like to swim in my pool. I'm not only enjoying this, but it's also keeping me healthy, swimming every day for at least 30 minutes. Just 2 hours ago, I was swimming with my best friend, John. All right, Arda. I can't read the Cyrillic, but I can read your response. It's KX. Says, once I have some spare time. When is better than once? When I have some spare time, I prefer to play football with my friends. Along with this, swimming is one of my favorite hobbies that I love to do in my leisure time. Okay, careful with your word choice and grammar. It's a little bit awkward. Okay. All right, Rajveer says, in my spare time, I either prefer to kick back and relax by watching a comedy web series, or I love to socialize with my friends and play some outdoor sports such as football and cricket. Just last Friday, I binge watched The Big Bang Theory during the evening after a hard day at the office. Very nice natural language, Rajveer, with kick back and binge watching. All right. June says, during my leisure time, I enjoy practicing some cardio workouts such as elliptical training, cycling, and swimming. They boost my stamina and promote burning off some fat to help my body release more dopamine, which makes me feel relaxed and energized. Just this morning at 7, I cycled around the lake by my home for about half an hour. Okay, very good, June. June, it's nice language. I like how you're including some scientific explanation about releasing dopamine into the body, even serotonin, right? The happy transmitter. Just make sure to be careful how far you digress into that kind of language, because examiners can kind of cut you off and bring you back to the point of the discussion. Okay, so during my leisure time, I like to sink into my couch and watch a bit of Netflix. This helps me to relax and forget about the stresses of daily life. I had a long day at the office just yesterday, and it was really nice to catch up on one of my favorite series. All right. Let's just do that. So here we go. Repeat after me. What do you like to do in your free time? During my leisure time, I like to sink into my couch and watch a bit of Netflix. This helps me to relax and forget about the stresses of daily life. I had a long day at the office just yesterday, and it was really nice to catch up on one of my favorite series in the evening. When I was done with all of my responsibilities. Okay, let's finish that sentence. So one more time, it's answer, explanation, example. Here I have some paraphrasing. So free time, another way to say that is leisure time. Rajveer used the idiom to kick back and relax. Kicking back and relaxing is basically sitting down and kind of just not really moving around too much. So I've expressed this in another way, sinking into my couch. So sinking into my sofa. It's very visual language. Visual language is very powerful in communication. Okay, notice how I'm being specific. Watch a bit of Netflix. Why? To help me relax and forget about the stresses of daily life. And then the example, okay? So one more time, here we go from the top. During my leisure time, I like to sink into my couch and watch a bit of Netflix. This helps me to relax and forget about the stresses of daily life. I had a long day at the office just yesterday, and it was really nice to catch up on one of my favorite series in the evening when I was done with all of my responsibilities. Okay, very clear expression here, all right? So much for the warm-up questions. Now, of course, by this time, you're feeling really confident and you're building up some really good fluency. As long as you're focusing on this answer, explanation, example, having smooth, clear connection with information, okay? So it's always mostly information that connects ideas together to make it smooth, okay? All right, and then the examiner will introduce the topic of part 1. So the examiner will say something like, let's talk about the home. Okay, they'll just say, let's talk about the home. And then they'll ask, where did you grow up? So where did you grow up? This question means, where did you spend most of your time as a child? What city, what house or apartment? So where did you grow up? Okay, Jainil says, I grew up in Surat, that is located in the southern part of the province Gujarat, which is the western part of India. It's also known as the Diamond City. Yeah, Jainil, let me reread that and put it together a little bit differently. So I grew up in Surat, which is located in the southernmost part of the province of Gujarat, which is in the western part of India. It's also referred to as the Diamond City because it's famous for diamond mines, okay? So it has a lot of industry, I'm guessing, okay? All right. Hiromi Paran, we can help you with your IELTS speaking and writing. Send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. So adrian@aehelp.com. And we can give you more information. All right. Sammy says, I was brought up in Vijayawada in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I also studied in Andhra Pradesh in the southern part of India. Let me just step out of that. Okay. Sorry, somebody's just trying to chat with me. I forgot to turn off my chat. Okay. So Angelo Cristiano says, I grew up in Indonesia in the capital city of Jakarta, which lies on the northwest side of Java. All right. In a house or in an apartment, Angelo? So again, you want to include that whenever you're talking about you're living or you're studying, it's a good idea to start with either the specific or the general and then go to the specific or go to the general. So I grew up in the city of Victoria in a 3-bedroom house with my 2 brothers, my parents. Okay, so big to small, small to big, but be specific. All right. Don't Sign says, I grew up here in Saudi Arabia. I lived most of my life here. I believe it's 9 years in total, if memory serves me right. And I really like it here. I don't think I will consider moving away. Okay, Don't Sign, not bad, just careful with the way that you put together your words. Okay, you've got some grammatical mistakes. So, I grew up in the beautiful garden city of Victoria, which is the capital of the province of British Columbia. I've spent more than 30 years of my life in this city, many of which was growing up in a 3-bedroom house with my 2 brothers and my parents. Okay. So here we go. Again, repeat after me. So practice questions. Where did you grow up? I grew up in the beautiful garden city of Victoria, which is the capital of the province of British Columbia. I've spent more than 30 years of my life in this city, many of which was growing up in a 3-bedroom house with my 2 brothers and my parents. Okay. Notice how here I actually switched to a quantitative piece of information, and Don't Sign also did that. Said, I believe 9 years in total, if it serves me correct. My memory serves me correct. So using quantitative language, numbers, is always a good idea to clarify information. I'm always encouraging you to practice that. So mixing in a good amount of quantitative language into your communication is always a great idea. Okay? All right. So next question is exactly this. Did you live in a house or an apartment? Okay, so did you live in a house or an apartment? And even if you kind of answered like what I did, I grew up in a 3-bedroom house, here I want to explain further and give more details. So don't just say I already said the answer, but give more detail. Okay? All right. So Konica Roy says, I have spent all of my life till date in 2 apartments in Kolkata. One was located on the famous Lake Town Highway and the other in Dum Dum. I have spent 11 years in Lake Town and 8 years in Dum Dum. Konica, very nice. Okay, I really like how you use good quantitative language. You give me a very clear answer to your background and you answer the 2 apartments. So I think you might be answering the previous question, but the answer serves well for both of these questions. So it's very good. Okay, Pawan says, I've lived in my beautiful house, which has 5 rooms, 1 kitchen, and is located in an urban area. Isabek says, currently I'm living in an apartment in Moscow, which has 3 huge rooms and 1 small kitchen. I live in this place for my studies, but when I was a child, I lived in a big house which was located in my hometown. Okay, the awkwardness, Isabek, of your answer is you're talking more about where you live currently, but you have to be very careful, students. It's not do you live in a house or apartment, it's did you live, okay? So this is past tense. So you really have to focus on that and make sure that you're talking about the house where you lived or the apartment where you lived and not where you live now. If you talk about where you live now, you're going to lose marks because the question isn't asking about where do you live now. That's a different question. Okay, so it's asking about where did you live growing up. Okay, so Saman, fellow traveler, says, before moving to the city, I used to live in a big garden house in a rural area, but nowadays I'm residing in a cramped one-bedroom apartment in downtown with my family for the past 15 years. Okay, Saman, that's good. That works. Taeyun Bing says, I have lived in a two-story terrace house. I have been quite satisfied with it because it provides me sufficient space to study. The environment is silent, so I can always focus on hitting the books. Okay, Taeyun, good. Just watch your grammar because it's a bit unclear. I would use the present perfect to make it sound like you still live there and you have been living there. Okay. All right, Shreya says, I live in a single-story detached house along with my parents and grandfather, which has 6 rooms. It belongs to my grandfather, and it was built from scratch in the 70s, okay? It's called a detached house. So most of my life, I spent growing up in the detached 3-bedroom house that I just mentioned. It has or had a large living room, a kitchen, and 2 full bathrooms to accommodate my siblings, my parents, and myself. It was quite a comfortable house to grow up in. Okay. So again, just giving a little bit more detail. Why? Because I kind of answered this in my previous response. So growing up in a 3-bedroom house with my 2 brothers and my parents. So here, did you live in a house or an apartment? Most of my life I spent growing up in the detached 3-bedroom house that I just mentioned. It had a large living room, a kitchen, and 2 full bathrooms to accommodate my siblings, my parents, and myself. It was quite a comfortable house to grow up in. Okay, so here I use the word detached. We don't say independent, we say detached house. It means it's just a house on its own. It's not stuck to any other house, which would be more of a townhouse. Okay, so before we go to the next question, does anybody have any questions about the speaking section so far and about what you should or should not do in the speaking? Perhaps some ideas that you read in a book or that you saw in a video or that you heard online. Any questions? I often forget to give students a chance to just directly ask me some questions specifically about the topic that we're practicing. So before we do a few more questions, I'll do 1 or 2 more questions. I just want to take a couple of minutes here to give you a chance to ask me any question about the IELTS speaking section that you have, because if you're thinking it, maybe somebody else is thinking it as well. So go ahead and ask me. Okay. All right. Paulo is asking, should I always talk in first person like I, me, mine? Yeah, absolutely, Paulo. In part 1, yes. Okay. Part 2 and 3 might be different, but in part 1, yes, you should be talking first person. Part 1 is always first person. So 1 is always first person subjective voice. This means that you are using I, me, my, myself. Okay, and a lot of students do make the mistake of using you, so do not use that, okay? Do not use you, okay? All right. Sahil says, what is the best strategy to answer part 3 questions? Sahil, basically the same as what we're doing right now, just often you're using the third person voice. So you give an answer, explanation, example, and especially in part 3, make sure to use the question to help your fluency. Okay. Now, Sarah is asking, is it all right to invent a scene while speaking, like if we've never experienced an idea? Yeah, it is, Nasara, absolutely. So you don't have to speak the truth. IELTS is not testing whether or not you're being truthful. It's simply testing your ability to communicate. And sometimes for that, you have to be a little bit imaginative, maybe especially with your examples, okay? Now, be careful because when you're using your imagination, it's an extra layer of difficulty, so that can decrease your fluency, okay? Or it can also increase it because it gives you some ideas to talk about, but you definitely want to practice using your imagination, okay? So before the IELTS exam, I strongly recommend answering some speaking questions where you're just speaking from imagination. Okay, Maysum is asking, why can't we ask the examiner? You can ask questions from the examiner, Maysum, but they're restricted. So you can ask the examiner to repeat a question. Okay. So you can ask the examiner to repeat a question. That's okay. Okay, but you can't ask the examiner to explain a question, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So, however, well, you can, but they're not going to. Okay, so the IELTS is a standard test. Everybody gets the same test. Native speakers sometimes sit the IELTS exam as well for their grade 12 English equivalency marks, or for immigration as well if they don't have their grade 12 English. IELTS is not an ESL test. That the examiner is not going to slow their language. They're going to be very natural. It's a test of English proficiency, your ability to speak English, regardless of whether you're native or non-native speaker. Okay, so you can ask them to repeat a question, and sometimes they will. So if you say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question, can you repeat it? They will repeat it, but you can't say, can you please explain that question for me? It's not a real-life chit-chat, and it's not an ESL test. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, Muhayo is asking, how can I improve my speaking if I don't have any colleagues who do not know English? Muhayo, I was just showing that on our website. We have a student partner speaking section. So if you go to ahelp.com or glshelp.com and go to your My Student account, you can find partners there. Okay, we're actually building a community right now where students will be able to practice some more, but you should be able to find study partners. Okay, it's just a matter of putting in some time. So, all right. So there's no reason that you can't find someone to study and practice your English with in today's world. There are so many people around the world, and using technology, Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, everybody should be able to manage finding at least one or two speaking partners to study with and setting up a schedule. It's just a matter of being vigilant and being confident in doing that, okay? All right, good questions, everybody. Let's take one more question here for today from our speaking. Let's go with this one. Let's do this last one. Okay. So, if you could build your dream house, what would it be? I'm kind of excited to learn about that. So, if you could build your dream house, what would it be? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this question. Okay, so if you could build your dream house, what would it be? Maybe I'll give you an example. Okay. Given the chance to design and construct the home of my dreams, it would be a single story home, so I don't have to climb stairs every day, with 5 bedrooms, a covered swimming pool, and a state-of-the-art kitchen. As you may guess, I love to swim and cook. All right, so that would be my answer there. Okay, Angelo says, I probably would construct my house next to the coast, so ocean view. Okay, Angelo, I would probably have an ocean view home, as I could watch the sunset and listen to the sound of the waves to help me unwind. Okay, all right, that's good. Yeah, be concise. Kushi Kanojia says, then that would be my choice of house. There I can shift or set things according to the way that I want. Even I would love to set things. Okay, Kushi, that's a little bit unclear. Don't use the word things. Things is not a good word in speaking or writing. Sammy says, if I could build a dream house, definitely it will be near the beach with a big garden, an open terrace, and having a swimming pool, and nice big rooms, and a heavenly kitchen. Very good, Sammy. Yeah, kind of similar to mine. Pedro says, I would like to live in a big house because there's much more space to occupy and provide comfort, especially hence I like spending time on a big sofa. All right, Pedro, so you would build a large house. How many square meters or how many square feet? Maybe give me some quantitative language of size is the most important element of your dream home. All right, Rajveer says, given a chance to build my dream house, it would be a villa with wide doors and windows. It will also have a gym, a gaming room, along with 3 state-of-the-art bedrooms and a modern kitchen. Very nice, Rajveer. It sounds like you've thought about this a little bit. Excellent. All right, Sarah Manel says, my fantasized home would definitely have 2 floors, a large front garden, and a backyard that would be a safe place for all the rescued animals that I would bring. The roof would have a huge swimming pool. Okay, so the pool up on the roof. Wow. All right. So here's the question again. Repeat after me. If you could build your dream house, what would it be? Given the chance to design and construct the home of my dreams, it would be a single-story home, so I don't have to climb stairs every day, with 5 bedrooms, a covered swimming pool, and a state-of-the-art kitchen. As you may guess, I love to swim and cook. Okay, so that's my logic. All right, and as well, look at how I'm using the grammar of the question. If you could build your dream house, given the chance to design and construct the home of my dreams. So I'm using the same type of grammar, just different words. I'm paraphrasing. Again, that's what you want to do to get those higher band scores. All right, students, so I'm going to stop us there for today. You can continue practicing on our websites in the Student Partner Speaking section. Also, I highly recommend joining our premium package. If you like this lesson and you want to get lots of tips and strategies, HD videos, practice exams, click this big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it is well worth it. Thank you so much, members, for your great participation today. Pawan, Jainil, June, Rajveer, lots of students in today's class. Excellent communication. Carolina, thank you for moderating. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. If it's late in your country, make sure to get some rest, optimize your mental functions and your mood. And I will be back tomorrow with some task 2 writing for members, some reading for everyone. So make sure to come back and join me. Have a great day as well. Eugene, thank you for the emojis. Angelo, keep up the good work. That's it for now, everyone. I'm Adrian, signing out from the west coast of Canada. Goodbye.